You are listening to Meet the Thriller Author, the podcast where I interview thriller, mystery, and suspense writers. I'm your host, Alan Peterson, a thriller author myself, and a big fan of the genre. This is episode number 226, and it's a special one. After 10 years of doing this podcast, this is my first time recording live on location. I sat down with today's guest right on the conference floor at the Horseshoe Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas during Author Nation 2025. This is the largest indie publishing conference out there with over 1,400 authors attending. One of those authors was Daniel Pelfrey, who joined me on short notice for this conversation. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Author Nation for providing the podcast recording booth because we were recording live at the conference. You will hear some background noise, people walking around and talking just a few feet away. That adds to a fun, right there in the moment feel. So I hope you enjoy it. Before we get into today's interview, I wanted to share a few thoughts about Author Nation 2025. I've been attending these conferences for years now, long before the rebrand to Author Nation. I've only missed two. One of my favorite parts each time is reconnecting with old author friends and meeting new ones. There's just something energizing about being in the same space with people who are on this journey too. If you're an indie author or thinking about becoming one, I really do recommend this conference, especially if you're just starting out. Author Nation caters to all genres, but they always show a strong appreciation for mystery and thriller authors. This year, they had two great panels. The Cozy Mystery panel featured Diana Carissa and H.Y. Hanna, both of whom I've had the pleasure of interviewing on this podcast. And the Thriller panel included Cheryl Bradshaw and Daniel Hurst. I've interviewed Cheryl in the past as well, and Daniel Hurst will actually be on the show in a couple of weeks. There was even a surprise appearance by Mary Stone, who is one of the biggest indie thriller authors out there, so it was a fun moment too. The closing keynote was none other than James Patterson, probably the most famous thriller author out there. He was originally scheduled to attend in person, but unfortunately he could not travel because he was recovering from COVID. However, he still joined live via Zoom, and Author Nation did a fantastic job with this setup. It was great video, great audio. Patterson is an incredible speaker, very smart, very funny. And if you haven't watched his masterclass, I highly recommend it. His lesson on outlining changed the way I plan my books. I use his outlining approach to this day. If you want to check out my video case study on the process, you can find it at thrillingreads.com/case study. And if you're interested in his masterclass itself, you can check that out at thrillingreads.com/outline. As for the structure of the event, Author Nation ran from November 3rd to the 7th. Monday was just a day to register, and then it was the vendor day, so you could walk the floor and talk to companies like Vellum, Pro Writing Aid, BookBub, Amazon KDP, and a lot of others. Then Tuesday through Thursday was the main conference days with sessions covering everything from writing craft to marketing, social media. One thing I appreciate is that the presenters aren't allowed to pitch from the stage, so you're there to learn, not to be sold to. And many of the presenters are authors themselves, which gives everything a practical, grounded feel. The week wrapped up on Friday with Reader Nation, which is a public event where readers can meet authors, browse books, get them signed, and just talk to writers face to face. Always a great atmosphere. Author Nation will be back in Las Vegas next year. It'll run from November 10th through the 14th. So if you want to learn more, you can visit authornation.live. All right, let's get to it. Here is my live interview with Daniel Pelfrey, recorded right on the conference floor. Enjoy. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Meet the Thriller Author. I'm Alan Peterson, and I am here in Las Vegas at the Author Nation. And they're offering a really cool recording booth for their podcast. So I thought it'd be cool to do a interview right here on the floor, right here in the conference. So if you hear the background noise, that's just the conference going on. And I have Daniel Pelfrey, who is a thriller author. So Daniel he writes thrillers. He writes across various genres, including crime fiction, alternate history, and urban fantasy. And he has his first book of a new series, the Nathan Calloway Thriller series, which actually comes out today, November 4th. So Daniel, congratulations, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
So that's going to be kind of nerve-wracking. Huh? You're at a conference and you're releasing a book. Are you a little distracted?
Technically, I'm releasing two.
Two of them? Oh, the first two books are coming out?
No, I have another series. Technically, the book comes out next week, but I'm going to have it at Reader Nation on Friday.
Oh, wow. You got
in another genre.
Oh, a different genre? What genre is that one?
That's Actually, it's urban fantasy crime fiction.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me ask you this. So, with regards to the conference, is this your first author nation?
This is my second author nation, but I did the last two 20 books conferences also.
Okay, cool. And so, what keeps you coming to these conferences?
You know what? I learn something every time, and even going back and watching the videos that we get access to, I can rewatch things that I actually said and learn something new then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And do you attend any other conferences, or just this?
No,
one?
I have a day job, so I can't really take too much time to disappear because I work at a hotel in a tourist town.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, so you're familiar with the whole Vegas vibe, huh?
Not exactly. I live in a small town in North Dakota.
Okay. So a little different. So let me ask you about this new release that you got here. So the Nathan Calloway thriller series. The first book is These Things We Do, which is out November 4th. So by the time people are listening to this, they can go get the book. So tell us about it. What can readers expect from the series?
Well, it's the military fiction vigilante justice. Usually you see the Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, those types of guys. Well, I'm an Air Force vet, and I've always just seen there's not enough love in the genre for the Air Force. So my guy is retired Air Force pararescue. And if you don't know what pararescue is, they're the guys that the Navy SEALs call when they need to be evac'd out. They're combat medics who are also special operators, meaning that they can do everything a SEAL can do.
Oh yeah, the ones that jump in the water with like all their gear to the first aid gear.
Or rappel out of the aircraft, whatever. Yeah.
So that's what inspired you to do this. You wanted a little difference from what's out there.
One, it's the same, but it's also different. I was stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base at the end of the training pipeline for pararescue, and actually the title of the book is the second half of their motto. Their motto is "These things we do that others may live."
And so tell us about the character. How did it come to be? Is it based on you and your experience, or?
No. I in basic, you try out for pararescue. Mm-hmm. If you can't swim, they don't want you. Actually, I also have the prequel novella for this. Mm-hmm. That's called Broken Faith. It's actually set during the final 18 days of the Afghanistan withdrawal, when he was still in Air Force. He was at where it happened, Abbey, far enough away that, otherwise I wouldn't have a series. Mm-hmm. But that particular novella is dedicated to those 13 people, 13 service members who perished.
And what's your process then? So it's based on true events, obviously. Do you do like a lot of research in the beginning? Or?
That one was based on true events. This one here, it's more. I have a veteran who helps those other veterans who fall between the cracks, or maybe other people. He lives by that creed. These things we do.
So let me ask you then. So I'm assuming these are like fast paced, and what's your writing style and your process?
My writing style, it's always evolving because I'm writing different genres and can't have the same voice in everything you write in. Even similar series, because I also had a police procedural. That's very different than this. I plan out several books, at least the premise.
Yeah.
Like I have up to the fourth or fifth book with the premise already planned, and the next two books are already written. So that way I can release quarterly. I typically have my first draft 7 or 8 months ahead. Mm-hmm. Editing is about 4 months. Uh-huh. So that way when I put it up for pre-order, it's ready to go. Mm-hmm. I can do it right then, but I don't. I do a 3-month pre-order.
Yeah.
There is a lot of research. I actually use a lot of AI to help with that, so that way, otherwise it would take me probably 4 times longer to write each book. Mm-hmm. I know a bit about what, the Air Force culture, so a lot of that is firsthand knowledge, but within the pararescue, the PJ community, that I rely on a few people I know, and research, because otherwise, I want it to be accurate. It's the concepts are, he's helping people in the community, typically other vets who, like I said, fall between the cracks, or the system just failed them, and that's kind of where the title From Broken Faith came from. He wants to, one person at a time, if he can help someone. Part of his thing is, once he does something to help someone, in the military we have challenge coins. He gives the person a challenge coin and he gives them poker chips. Mm. The challenge coin is he helped them. The poker chips are the referral if someone else needs help.
Okay, so that's the way they reach him through the chips that he knows.
And it's set up. There's a secured phone number on it.
Okay, got it.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. That's a cool hook. So I've said you've mentioned before you've written across multiple genres. So what's your approach from writing thrillers to, for example, you also write alternate history stories? Is it the same approach? Is it the same style?
I do. The planning portions are all the same. Mm-hmm. The alternate history that I write, and I'm actually also planning a straight historical fiction series because I have a degree in history, so I want to use it for something. But the alternate history, it's like you got to ask yourself the what if, and that one, my what if is what if the colonies lost at the Battle of Yorktown. Mm-hmm. So that's the prequel. I set the main series in like 1905, mm-hmm. still colonial, but in what's now the States, but think that the atmosphere is more like about Ireland at the same time. And if you study history, mm-hmm. which wasn't very good. And in that one, I actually have Theodore Roosevelt is not the main character, but he's the mentor for my male and female leads in the story, mm-hmm. in the series. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a thriller vibe on that one too, like a little action.
Action. Yeah, the first ones are more espionage, mm-hmm. But then after about book 3, it becomes more epic war.
Okay. Yeah, and so I was going to ask you too, you've had a pretty interesting career path. You mentioned the Air Force, you were TSA, you even dealt blackjack. Does any of that stuff get into your books?
Not that much.
No?
I can tell you that when I worked for TSA, I was at Chicago Midway.
Ooh.
It was busy.
Yeah.
You would not believe how many times I said to someone, I'm sorry, but you cannot take that iron skillet as carry-on. I was a supervisor.
Yeah.
So, and when I dealt blackjack, I actually worked at a horseshoe casino.
Yeah. Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah.
Full circle.
That was about 8 months.
Yeah. So let me ask you then too now, with regards to your writing process, because I always ask my guests these type of questions. How do you write your books? Do you use Word, Scrivener, something else?
I actually use Novel Crafter.
Oh, Novel Crafter. Yeah, I've heard about that one.
I do, like I said, I do a lot with AI, clean it up. Mm-hmm. To put my voice into it.
Yep.
If I'm looking for specific dialogue where I want the characters to say certain things, I make that happen.
Yeah.
I put that voice in. I think my writing has gotten better, mm-hmm. because I know a lot of people don't like AI. A lot of authors are negative on it. After my first 20 books in 2022, right after my 50th birthday, I had congestive heart failure. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I couldn't even string a sentence together. So working with ChatGPT and finding new things, it helped retrain my brain so that way I can work, mm-hmm. so that way I can write again. That's where that alternate history got planned.
Oh, okay.
I waited a long time to write it. But now it's like, say I want to paint a wall and I've taken the roller. Well, I take the roller over the wall and I miss the blank spots. The AI fills in the blanks for me that I'm missing.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a back and forth. So certain things, it's like, no, I don't like that idea. We're going to go this way. So it's like getting to brainstorm, but not having 6 other people in the room disagreeing with you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I know AI is a hot topic and controversial topic, but it's here. It's a tool. It's useful, and it's not going anywhere.
It would take me 8 or 9 months to write a book otherwise.
Yeah. Is there like a common thread that you end up baking into your books without even realizing it?
You know, I like to have family in books.
Okay.
Like in the Nathan Calloway series, he's divorced, has a teenage daughter. That also, being divorced and have teenage daughter also helps add tension and helps have those points. I also write the police procedural I write is the Hector Ramirez series. I like to rotate. He is the lead, but I like to rotate who I focus on in the books, so that way, there's 5 or 6 different detectives that work with them, so that way they each get character development like through a whole book.
Okay.
So that way, if all they get is a mention here or there, but I also, when I was starting to create that series, that was when I was going through the worst of the congestive heart failure, and I was watching a lot of Guy Fieri, and it's like, this book needs a diner, where it's that neutral ground. So there's a diner, and it's kind of, in that series, it's kind of taken on a life of its own. It's its own character, and I set 2 or 3 scenes in each book in the diner, and usually one toward the end after they've solved the case, and that's where I do a lot of where I would definitely want to be writing a lot of the dialogue, because they're trading quips and kind of insulting each other in their playful way. It's a fun way to have your characters a little outside of their character, but still working within the confines of what you would expect in that kind of a story.
And what is your process? Do you outline, or do you write by the seat of your pants?
I used to write by the seat of my pants, and my stories were kind of go all over the place. And now I start with a premise. The premise of this book actually is a continuation from the prequel novella, the Broken Faith novella. It's his best friend, who his daughter calls Uncle. Because they're like brothers, drowns. Well, pararescue don't drown.
Yeah. Like that.
So he starts investigating it. So that's the premise for that. Like I said, I have books 2 and 3 already drafts written. The 3rd book, I can tell you, I'm gonna give you the spoiler, because the book 2, Sacred Ground, is already on pre-order. Book 3, the title is going to be No Fixed Address. Homeless vet who witnesses a murder gets accused of the murder.
Oh, nice.
So, that's my premise, and from there I say, okay, well, what's going to work? I need tension points. I need, and so that's how it's a back and forth, thinking what's going to work, what's not. I've actually written whole novels, looked back at it and said, this doesn't work. The premise works, but the story didn't. So then I go back, and that's actually one of the great things about AI, because I can say, okay, well, it worked up to this point. So now I can go back into the outline and say, okay, here's where it didn't work. Let's fix it, and then I rewrite from there.
What's the AI tools that you use? Is it like the...
I mainly use Novel Crafter, but you have to have an API key. I usually use Claude.
Okay, within Novel Crafter.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also use Claude directly when I do all the outlining and planning, because that way I can go more in depth. It works a little bit better for the way that I like to work. I actually get my full outline and all my story beats, and then I put that all into Novel Crafter, and then I just sit and go through that and start editing. And sometimes I edit on the fly, because if there's one little small thing in it that's wrong, it'll come back to bite you later and snowball and get bigger.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating part of it too, when you get stuck like that. So let me ask you too, with regards to the thriller genre, were you a fan of these type of books before you started writing them?
Yeah, you know what? The only genre that I didn't really read a lot in before I started writing, it was the urban fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I like alternate history. One of my favorite authors, he's now passed. Eric Flynn, he did a series called Ring of Fire. And the first book that I saw, I was in a Barnes & Noble, and I see this book, and it shows some hillbillies and Spanish conquistadors. And I'm like, what in the world? So I flip it over and see, he's for where I'm at. I'm originally from Northwest Indiana. He lived in Northwest Indiana, so I'm like, I think I'll give this one a shot. 30-something books later, I'm still reading in that series. And I know that they've just announced that they're going to continue it with someone else running the series, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I do read Mark Dawson's John Milton series. Tony Lee writing his Jack Gatlin. I read his Declan Walsh series. Love that series. Love both those series, actually. I'm a reader. I've always been a reader. I pick just about anything up. Matter of fact, I was just in a Barnes & Noble the other day. I picked up a biography on Theodore Roosevelt and a book on Native American folklore. The cover was cool.
Yeah. That's what people don't. The importance of the book cover. They said people don't judge by the covers, but that in this business, it's very important. I like your cover. Do you do it yourself, or do you?
Actually, I do and I don't. I actually prepared a brief. I usually get covers.
Yeah.
Economical. If you're an author starting out, you can get some really great covers for. And let me double check something here.
Yep.
I can't remember if I did a title page in this one. Yes, I did. They also offer title pages for like $5 more. Audiobook covers, included in the package. But what I do is I actually will work with AI. Say, here's the story. What kind of cover should this have?
Oh, good. That's a good idea.
And it tells me what it should look like. So I condense that down into a nice brief for the cover artist, for the designers. It get covers and send it to them. And I've done that with a couple of different series. I've done that with my alternate history series, and those all turn out gorgeous too. But that's what I do, and I don't pay a lot for the covers, and it saves me money for advertising.
Yeah. The important things. So, what are you working on now? What's your current project that you're writing?
Actually, just last night I was working on a book for my urban fantasy series. That the title on that series is Chicago Underground. It's urban fantasy, more magic realism. The magical community is kind of hidden in plain sight. It's called Blood and Ballots. The series is set in Chicago. Vampires and politics. What can I say?
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah. Cook County, style.
Yeah. I also started a historical fiction detective series set in Prohibition era Chicago.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah.
That one is called O'Malley Investigations.
Okay.
Just so you know, O'Malley's a drunk, and
of course,
his secretary is the brains.
So let me ask you too. With this conference going on here, what kind of classes are you? What kind of presentations are you going to? What's your thoughts?
This year, I've been putting it off. 3 conferences this year. My focus is the marketing because I need to get better at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do take time to do a couple of panels or maybe at least one craft session just because there's always something to learn.
Yeah, that is true in this business, and everything changes too, in an instant sometimes. All right, Daniel. So let me ask you before I let you go. I always ask my guests in every episode advice for aspiring writers that are listening to this.
My first bit of advice is never listen to the people who say, "Oh, you'll never make it." My first book that I published is actually nonfiction.
Oh, okay.
I have a degree in history, like I mentioned. The focus of my undergraduate studies, and actually to a degree, I did a year of grad school for history and decided this wasn't for me, but American West. So I had 17 different essays of varying lengths about the American West, so I re-edited those, and someone who was he was like the president of the foundation I used to work for. He was like, most people won't sell 100 copies of a book. And then he said, I'm still working on my first book, and he's still working on it. And I can say, I have more than 20 out, Randy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm working, and you know what? I have a day job still, but don't give up. If you think you can do it, don't give up your dream. Just write what you want to. Because let's face it, everything is a passion project if you want to write.
Yeah.
But also, I would say, do something you can do in series. You want your own thing, but you still need to be. And you'll hear this from a lot of people. You can do your own thing, but at the same time, you still have to be still within that niche that it fits. If you don't fit in anything, it's not good. Not that it's bad writing, it's harder to find success.
Yeah. Give the readers books that they're looking for already. Yeah. All right, Daniel. So let me ask you now, for the listeners who are listening to this, where can they find you? Do you have a website? Where are you online?
My website is. I'm going to give it where it goes right to the books.
Okay.
Books.danielpelfrey.us.
All right. So, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on and doing this podcast here live at Author Nation. And thanks to Author Nation, too, for providing this booth. It's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for, because this is my first podcast I've ever done.
All right. So, yeah. So now you got you going now. The first of many, probably, yeah?
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so very much.
Thanks for listening to Meet the Thriller Author, hosted by Alan Peterson. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps other thriller fans discover the show. You can find all past episodes, show notes, and author interviews at thrillerauthors.com, including conversations with icons like Dean Koontz, Frida McFadden, and Lee Child. And if you're looking for your next gripping read, check out Alan's own psychological thrillers and crime fiction novels at thrillingreads.com/books. Until next time, stay safe, keep reading, and keep the thrills coming.